Hey y'all, it's me, Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. And apparently, this is how my voice sounds right now when I just started talking. How's it going, everybody? I'm Allie Burns. It's time for Morning Wood. We do have a special guest today. I'm trying to change my room that I'm in. I'll go to the baseball room. We do have a special guest today. It's Sean Miller. He's the guy I've been telling you all about, who's got the 4 o'clock time slot, the 4 p.m. Eastern time slot for soccer. He should be on with us today in a little while here. Before we get the party started, let's like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, because that's what homies do for other homies. And I'm your homie, and you're my homie. That's how it works. If you haven't already gotten yourself signed up with Caesar Sportsbook, you definitely want to do that. Up to $1,100 in first bet insurance for all new accounts in legal states over the age of 21. Please bet responsibly. We do have Detroit Lenny back. Oh, and to find the Caesar Sportsbook thing, check out the description of the video. There's a link. Click on the link and it'll bring you right there. Or you can use the promo code MORNINGCZR. What's happening? Drunk Allie may have cut my hair last night a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. There is a Detroit Lenny sighting. He is back. Thank you guys all for your well wishes to him. He'll be in and out throughout the show as he pleases. Don't rush him. He still feels like crap. Hi, Real Bailey. How you doing? Hi, Esmula. I'm going to go with Esmula. How's it going, friends? Liverpool and Villarreal Champions League under 3 goals. Okay, get it. What up, P? What up, Porter? Call me Birds. I like that. Hi, Jinx Mountain.
Just one cash, this Real Madrid over 2.5 corners.
I need to ask a soccer person in here. Did Real Madrid over 2.5 corners cash? I don't know. I need Bill or someone.
Like probably disallow those bets if we can't figure out how to can.
I just don't know where to find them. I ask
them.
Know
either.
Yeah, I just ask them and then someone tells me. Get them to work for us. Nuggets +9 for Joan. I got everything wrong yesterday that I bet on, and everything I didn't bet on I got right. So it was that kind of a day. I could not take those damn points with the Pelicans. Dins, Harold, and Ismail. That's a fun name. How's it going, friend? Wrong on the Guardians. I was wrong on the A's. I was wrong on the Astros. I was just wrong. Remember from Scrubs? Wrong. So whatever, you know. I was right not to take the points with the Pelicans, though. That was my one saving grace, but I didn't bet on it. So there's that. I did take it over. That was my big bet of the day. Didn't go well. You're on a conference call and have you guys on your other headphones. Stupid work. Totally. You're back. I love it when you're back, Rail. One team. Hey, how's it going there? Lenny, what's up? Hope you're feeling better, dude. Yes. Okay, here we go. Real Madrid had 3 corners, 8 total for the game. Okay, perfect. Thank you. See, they'll do it if you just ask them. All right, let's talk some Sprots. Talk a little Sprots. My old college roommate wrote me a note one day. Allie went to the Sprots bar. See you later. So Sprots it is. Okay, let's get in. Yeah. So I'm going on vacation. Starting now. No, starting after my pick videos tonight. And are there no sports today? Okay, here we go. So I'm not going to be here on Thursday or Friday, but Lenny will be here. You can confirm with JoJo. Thank you, Sean. Okay, so see, perfect. See, we're a team. We help each other out. That's what we do. Usually I'll text the Parlays and they'll tell me, but I kind of ran out of time. Yeah, so I'm not going to be here Thursday or Friday, but Lenny will be here. Y'all be on your best behavior for dad, okay? I don't want to hear any complaints. Don't get his heart rate up. You know, his blood pressure could get high. Don't get him going. Y'all be on your best behavior. Okay. So we got Bulls at the Bucks -12, and we've got the Nuggets at the Warriors -9. Totals look like they're going. Hold on, let me get onto here. What have we updated Handicapper Con, Lenny?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Monday I did. Monday I still have to do yesterday.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Monday. Did I? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, every day there's a post of where you put your thread, but I didn't update the totals or whatever. I didn't.
Okay.
Then done with the cuts. Now you just find out if you win or whatever. So, James Mounts, if you're listening, I know you're neck and neck with Allie, but if you could not put your picks on her picks in the same thread so it looks like it's her picks and stuff, that would be great.
Oh, I thought he was just telling me his picks. Yeah, you got to post independently also because he'll miss you. But I thought he was just telling me so I knew what I was going up against. I'm taking a rapid plummet would be maybe the way to say it.
As of Monday, you're 37-13. He's 34-16.
So 37-14. I know yesterday I went. Today's Wednesday, right? Yesterday I was 0-2. So 37-15.
So I don't know what he did yesterday because I have to search all around to see in your comments back and forth to see what his picks is because I'm a detective. Like that.
I'm a detective.
Yeah.
Hi, Julie Carly. Marlins
so
money line for the old and the new. Get it, girl. Get it. Hi, Jim Williams. Fun fact, Anthony Rizzo's 3 home runs were the 3 shortest home runs tracked by StatCast since they began tracking them. Average 330 feet, the short porch in the Bronx. Huh. Yeah. Oh, Anthony Rizzo. The Riz. Damn Tigers losing in typical Detroit fashion. Bottom 9, give up 2 runs on errors to lose. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Why I got to bring up old shit? Sean,
I mean,
never heard of him, Austin?
Typical. I don't know. They're one of the least aired team so far this season. So that comment kind of just looks like you're fishing for something, and I'm not going to give it to you.
Hi, hope you're feeling better. Could you please have KC White Sox Nerfy? Thank you. Yes, you can, JoJo. Yes, you can. I promise to be good and not poke the bear too much. Okay. EJ the DJ going with the Astros on the money line. You saw that. Sorry. Okay. Get your stuff together. James Mounts, get your stuff together. Hi, Blanket Dog. Not a lot of yes, I'm so excited to go on vacation. I really I haven't gone anywhere since I went to Portland over the summer. Remember, I came back in August and then bought into Circa and it was off and running from there. Off and running. Milwaukee has 91% of the money on them and 64% of the tickets, and that line started at a 10. It's up to a 12.5 now. So if that's your pick, you're going Milwaukee minus 12.5 or the Bulls plus 12.5. Total wise, it's all on the under, and it's moving under from 218.5 to 217.5. So those lines look like they're doing what they should be doing. And then with the Warriors, 68% of the money is on Golden State. Can anybody tell me where the money was at last night on the Suns game? If anyone just happens to be able to find that for me. So we got 68% of the money and 60% of the tickets on the Warriors, and that number is staying the same at 8.5. And then 77% of the money is on the over. It opened at 226. Now it's at a 225. So that's not moving the proper way. It's just not. I can't do that with baseball. Like I can't look at it the same way as I can with basketball in those sports. Okay, let's see what we got going on today. 1-1. Posted properly. Look at you go. Our special guest is here. All right. Hi, Jared Nichols. Liverpool money line over 2.5 goals in the game is minus 112 when parlayed. Okay. Well, I have just the guy here to talk about this with us all. His name is Sean Miller. He is the new host of, let me put his little name in here. There we go. He's the new host of our 4 o'clock time slot. Let me bring you in right now, Sean. Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm great. It's good to meet you. I'm Allie Burns. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
So you're in
behind me.
Uh-huh.
see all the scarves I got behind me to give me a little credibility with the soccer folk.
I love it. I love it. Well, I wanted to bring you on because on this show, we do a lot of contests, and they can come in and give us their number one best bet. So you're going to kind of be seeing that through the thread as we're going on. Okay. But a lot of them, not everybody's favorite sport is football. So a lot of people's favorite sport is the other football, the That's real right. football, not the American one. So I wanted to bring you in so they could meet you, and then they can follow you over into your 4 p.m. Eastern slot. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get started? What part of the country are you in, or the world for that matter?
I'm in Philadelphia right now. We're going to move into the suburbs next week, I think, or the week after that. But I played soccer. I went to Columbia University. We had a really good team up there when I played. I was in New York. I kind of started to watch the Premier League while I was up there. I started coaching. I coached high school for 5-6 years. I coached travel for a while. And in 2011, I started going over to England to go. Manchester United's my team. So I started going to matches. I just got back. I was actually over there last week. I saw the Chelsea Real Madrid Champions League game. Then I went to Manchester for the Manchester United Norwich match. And then I went to West Ham for the West Ham Burnley match. So 3 games in like 8 days back home. I'm usually over there for like 3 weeks at a time, but all kinds of stuff going on now. So, but I've coached it, I've played it, I cover it. I work for NJ.com, the Trenton Times, Star Ledger, these papers. I write the Premier League, the Champions League, and all the World Cup stories for those papers. So I've been covering it for a long time, and I kind of have a knowledge of it from all different sides, writing it, covering it, coaching it, playing it. So, and I probably watch more games than anybody that I know.
Well, that's fair. All right. Well, that's awesome. So that's pretty much what, like, you don't go into La Liga or I shouldn't answer the question. Or Serie A and.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday on the show, we were talking about the last night and tonight is Copa Libertadores in South America and the CONCACAF Champions League here, MLS. I actually do some work. I write for one of the MLS Next Pro teams over here on their site as well. I do their game stories and everything. So I cover that Premier League. To be honest, I mean, unlike some of these other sports, I think, baseball maybe because now you have, you can the Korean League and the Japanese League, but, you can find a lot of value sometimes in some of these smaller leagues that maybe aren't on TV as much, or, they're not on national television. You can find the leagues, but, on Fridays, my big thing is to bet the second division in Netherlands, the Eredivisie. It's one of these leagues where every match is like 5-3 and 4-2. There's a lot of overs and there's a lot of hidden value. So it's pretty cool. You can find all kinds of value. And the other thing about soccer is it never ends. They play on Christmas Day. They play in the summer. They play, usually this summer – there's no World Cup. It usually would be a World Cup in the summer, but it's in Qatar, so it's in November and December. So I mean, basically, there's nonstop action, 365 days a year, unlike some of the other sports. So,
yeah, I really like soccer. I don't follow it, and I'm not super knowledgeable about it, but I did live in England for a while. I'm unfortunately a Newcastle fan. My ex-husband was a West Ham guy, but I watch soccer. I love soccer, but I'm not super into it. So I'm really excited about your show because I take a lot of the Woodies, the show's Morning Wood. They're called the Morning Woodies. I just got it, Esmila. It's easy money. Easy moolah. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it? Sorry, I've been trying to pronounce this name for a while, but he just respelled it. Now I get it. So yeah, I know there's a lot of them and I want to learn more. So I'm excited about your show. A lot of talk about this Liverpool game in the chat. Jared Nichols says Liverpool 2-0 looks nice as well. That's something I would really like help with understanding is like I get draw no bet, but win to nil. There's some verbiage that I don't quite get when it comes to betting on soccer.
The thing is, there's 2 different bets that you can do. You can bet Liverpool clean sheet, which means, they're going to shut out the team. But they don't necessarily have to win the game. It could be 0-0. So you're going to get maybe different odds. You're going to get lower odds on that. Win to nil, they have to win the game. So it's a little bit, there's two different ways you can bet. Like Liverpool right now, I hate saying it because I'm a United fan, but they're probably the best team in the world. This game, I see some of these people and what they're saying here. Liverpool, I think today is probably – this Villarreal team is no business being in this game. They've had a really good run, but Liverpool, Manchester City, and Real Madrid, if you watched the game yesterday, it was an unbelievable game, 4-3. Just attack. This Liverpool team, I mean, this game could be 5-0. I mean, it could be ugly. I love Liverpool -1.5 today. Get it about -120, -125. Liverpool over 2.5 goals is +110. I know I see some people saying take the under, but you get some plus value taking that. But yeah, this team is they're really good. Yeah, Benzema. You talk about Jared's talking about Benzema yesterday. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. He's had a hat trick. He scored an extra time to win the tie when I was at the game, and then he scored 2 yesterday to really keep him in it. I mean, so this Liverpool team has 4 or 5 guys too that could score. You got Mohamed Salah at -135 to score today, Jota at +100, Mane +105, Diaz at +120, and all these guys could score. Because I just think this game is going to be really not competitive. It's at Liverpool as well.
I have this. Is this a Saturday game? We're not talking about the Saturday game, are we?
No, today the Liverpool plays Villarreal in the Champions League semifinal.
Oh, Champions Leagues. I'm in the EPL. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, this weekend. I mean, the race for the Premier League right now. Once again, I hate doing it. I took Liverpool about a month ago to win the Premier League. They're a point behind, and you can get them at pretty good odds right now on the future bets. They're still +170. They're only a point back. So they're +170. Man City is -220. So if one of these teams has to lose a game or drop points, and for maybe the other to do, I don't know if it'll happen. But I took a chance on Liverpool at +1. I think I got him at +275 at the time, because I just thought maybe they were going to catch him. So they might not, but at that value, it's probably worth it.
So Liverpool plays Newcastle on Saturday.
Yeah.
Foxy's a big soccer guy. He's one of I'm telling you, we've got some big soccer people in here, and they kind of found their way through. One guy will start posting and we'll pick up another and pick up another. Yeah. I hope Bill McDonald's in here. He really likes soccer.
Followed me on Twitter yesterday. I think he's from South America. Is a big, but he watches a ton of games. And look, this your Newcastle team, by the way, is the richest team in the world right now. The Saudis bought them. So this team probably in 2 or 3 years is going to be Manchester City, Liverpool. I mean, they're doing it the right way. They're building. They're really good. And they're playing it. And since Eddie Howe took over, I think they have one of the best records, maybe the 3rd best record behind City and Liverpool. Liverpool, if they're going to drop some points, it could be in this game, at +650. And the one thing you can do, let me see if I can find it. You can bet both outcomes. I don't know if people have talked about that with the double chance betting.
I've heard of that, but I don't exactly know what that is.
So double chance, when you're betting, NBA, there's only 2 outcomes. It goes to overtime, whatever. One team wins, the other team on the money line, or the spread line, and either you win or you lose. I mean, you could push, but for soccer, there's 3 outcomes: win, lose, draw. So for Newcastle and draw, for this weekend, you get +185, and you get 2 of the 3 outcomes. That's actually what I thought yesterday with Real Madrid. I said, take a chance at +200 for 2 of the 3 outcomes, because Liverpool, at +600. I don't know if Newcastle is going to win the game at +650. Draw is +370, but you can get both of those for plus nearly double your money, which is pretty good. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Jared talks about Newcastle this weekend, West Ham this weekend, and just got done seeing them. They play Arsenal. Oof, that's an interesting game. If he likes West Ham at home in that game, +340. I think West Ham the problem with West Ham is tomorrow they're playing in the Europa League semifinals, and then they're playing in the Europa League semifinals again next Thursday. So, they're probably going to put their strongest lineup. If they win the Europa League, they make the Champions League next year, which is, 100 million pounds worth of money on top of everything they make. It's going to be massive. So I think they're going to put a lot of their eggs in that basket at this point. I don't think they can make top 4. So, they might play a weakened lineup. The one thing I always say when you bet these soccer matches is you have to, you can listen to this stuff and you can watch what's going on, but some of these games you want to wait till an hour before kickoff and see the lineup, because especially now, with Liverpool, Manchester City, West Ham, Leicester City's playing in the Europa Conference League. These teams are maybe going to rest some players on the weekend, so you have to wait to see what the lineup's going to be.
That's what I wanted. That's kind of what I was alluding to, was that if Liverpool is playing Villa today and then on Saturday they play Newcastle, how does that affect their energy, their stamina, and their roster?
It does. I mean, the thing with Newcastle, or the thing with Liverpool, is they're in a race. They've already won one trophy. They won the Carabao Cup, which is the League Cup. So they've won that. They're in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. They're in the semifinals of the Champions League, and they're going to walk to the final. There's no chance Villarreal can win this tie. So they're going to be in the Champions League final, and they're 1 point back. Nobody's ever won those 4 trophies. Manchester United won a treble. Manchester City won a domestic treble. They won the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Premier League, but Manchester City's never won the Champions League. So no team has ever won all 4 major trophies. And, Liverpool is really close to doing that. So, they have some guys they could rotate in the front 3, front 4, front 5 positions and still probably beat, win this weekend against Newcastle. Newcastle's, they're safe. They're going to play hard, so it's going to be interesting. That's why, maybe you take a shot, maybe on that double chance, and maybe you get a draw. But the guys in the midfield and the guys in the defense, I mean, they're just going to have to play. And maybe the best thing I think for Liverpool would just be to win 5-0 today. If they win 5-0, that's why I think sometimes the bets today with the -1.5 and the Liverpool over 2.5. If they get up 3-0 or 4-0 in this tie, it's over. It doesn't matter. They can play. They can rest their guys in Spain on Tuesday, and then they can go hard on Saturday and kind of rest. So I think that's probably the best outcome that Liverpool is looking for. If this tie today is close, 1-0 or something like this, which I don't think it's going to be, but then on the weekend it could be dodgy. So
talk to me about, again, I roughly know some of these things, but while you're here, let me pick your brain a little. So corners, a big bet they like to take, we had one yesterday, is over or under corners or red cards. Is there, how do you, are there just teams that always get red cards, or I'll let you talk. What I'm asking.
When you see some of these games, sometimes you'll look at the Portuguese league, and you'll just, you'll see these games, and Rio Ave is playing Estoril or something like this, and every other match there's a red card. I mean, some of the other leagues, there's some, you can find some value betting that. Yellow cards. Jared's talking about yellow cards, some of these contentious games where it's going to be kind of tough. You could bet yellow cards. A lot of times with when Manchester City's playing and they're just going to be passing the ball around in the opponent's final third, 80% possession, you might not get as many cards because there's nothing going on. They're just sitting back and whatever. But you definitely can do that. Corners, you have to, you can use, there's a lot of data. SofaScore is good. FC Tables is a good site.
What is a corner? Is it just when they're kicking it in from the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it. It seems so obvious that I thought I was
when the ball goes out over the end line and off the defense or whatever. Yeah, so you want to try to bet them. When Manchester City's playing, once again, they have all this possession and they're pushing the ball. The other team's probably not going to get a lot of corners in that game, but the books are pretty good now. Soccer is the most bet sport in the world, and I think in America it's getting pretty big. I mean, I think a lot of people are starting to figure out there's some value in a lot of these lower league games, or some of these games that, there's games in the morning, there's games in the afternoon, there's games in the evening, and you can find 1 or 2 games. It's almost like college basketball on Saturdays, where there's so many games. Instead of betting like 20 games, you just try to hone in on like 1 or 2. But yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely ways to make money on all this. You could bet basically on anything at this point on some of these games.
Yeah, it's a whole different language too. Like you're kind of learning a different vernacular when you're.
Yeah, I was explaining that yesterday, the Asian handicap, because it's not something that's in some of these other sports. Asian handicap is basically when you bet a football NFL game minus, say you bet the 49ers -7 and they win by 7, you push, right? You push your bet, you get your money back or whatever. When you bet on soccer, if you bet just Liverpool -2 today and they win by 2, you lose your bet. You don't push, you lose. If you do Asian handicap -2, it's basically the same thing as a push. So it's a little bit different. You get a little worse odds, but it almost covers your bet. And then you can bet this thing where it's like minus. Yesterday, Sheffield Wednesday, for example, I gave out Sheffield Wednesday at minus 0.75. So they ended up winning by 1 goal, 3-2. So basically minus 0.75 means half your bet is at minus 0.5, half a goal, and half your bet is at 1 goal. So you win half of your bet, and you tie. You half your bet is returned as a tie. So it's just a different way to bet. It's almost like a little safer way. I don't love betting handicaps unless I know like Liverpool is going to win today like 3-0. I'll bet like -1 or -2 or whatever like that. But I'd rather bet the Asian handicap for a little bit less value and a little bit less money and protect it, because sometimes you don't get a lot of blowouts in soccer. So
yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, Pedro had said Pedro's in Portugal. He's a really big soccer guy too.
I'm a big Pedro. I came over for the Nations League in 2019. I always go to Tondela. My friend lives in Tondela, so we go to Lisbon, Tondela, and Porto. So I'm over there a lot. I love Portugal. I definitely want to move there one day, but that league is really cool. It's good. I mean, there's definitely some value in those leagues, because most of the good teams loan their players out to the teams below them, Porto, Sporting, and Benfica. So then when they play these teams, those players can't play, so they always win like 5-0. So you can win a lot of money on those games.
So let me ask you, for someone who wants to get started in sports betting, this is a 2-part question, really. Mm-hmm. For someone who wants to get started in sports betting, where is a good jumping off point? And on your show at 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, right here on the Max Wagers Network, what kind of stuff are you going to be covering? What's like the focus of your show,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I try to focus on right. So right now we're at the tail end of the season. Obviously, there's about.
Sorry, real quick. I was going to say this too, Lenny. This game already started. I tried to bet on it, and they're at the bottom of the first. I wasn't going to say it, but then someone said it. Okay, go ahead.
I was letting them know that that's what I was on. I posted it on the Facebook page about 2 hours ago. So
okay.
Yeah, the games I'm on it. I'm just letting you know that I'm sweating it. So calm down, chat, please. Calm down. Check Facebook page.
Oh my God, he's so annoying when he's sick. Okay, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's only about a month left. Usually, the season ends, especially this. Last year was the Euros because of COVID. And then there's the World Cup, supposed to be this year, but now it's in November. So there's going to be like a little break. So there's going to be some other, MLS and something like this, but it will be a little bit slow. But usually, starting in August again, Premier League, there's basically games every day, Premier League, Champions League. There's so much action. So what we're going to do is, since it's at 4:00, I'm going to look at maybe some of the games that night. If there's a game in Mexico, MLS, something like that, South America, and then focus on the games the next day. So you have a little bit of a jump start on those because some of those are early, especially like the Friday night shows will basically go over like maybe the top picks from the weekend because there's so many matches. And then, I think if you're starting to look at this, there's some value in a lot of these leagues. I mean, you don't have to, pick, the MLS. I know it's here. Some of these teams are really even. So when you see the lines, it's tough to bet the MLS. I think it's a lot tougher to bet the MLS than it is to maybe bet the Premier League or to bet, some of these other League One in France. What I usually do is, definitely. I get you over there.
Jim Bob's another big soccer guy.
Yeah.
Jim Bob, this is our new guy for soccer at 4 p.m.
He was
Eastern
on the show yesterday. Yep.
Good, okay.
I like that bet, definitely. And then, I think, to try to, what I do is, I'll look for, the best teams. I always want to bet. This is just my philosophy. I want to bet good teams. I know like some of my friends will just bet underdogs and, if you have to win 30% of the time or whatever to cash or whatever, but like, I want to bet good teams. I just, and especially like in the Premier League right now. I mean, Liverpool and Manchester City are going to end the season with like 5 losses combined in 78 games or 76 games.
Wow.
So, they're not going to lose a lot of games. There's a reason they're like minus 350 every game because of that. But, if you can get, Liverpool at minus 300, Manchester City at minus 300, or maybe take them at -1, parlay them together, and maybe get it down like Jim Bob did here, LWS and Tolima double chance winner draw, like something like that, -106. That's an underdog play. But some of the plays like, I think I had Benzema to score at +250. And one of the underdogs, and it ended up being like a +600 parlay, and it came out. So I try to find good teams. I try to bet on good teams. I know, like in baseball, sometimes people want to bet the good pitchers. Obviously, except for Garrett Cole right now because he's terrible because the game started. I think the last time he pitched, the game started 30 seconds late, and he was thrown off or something like this. But I think, you can bet those, first 5 good pitchers or something like that and parlay them together and get, maybe +100, -110, something like that. And get those together. You don't always have to bet, big underdogs or big favorites. I'm not a real good big guy on betting like -200 favorites just as on their own. Cause if you lose, you're losing double your money. So,
yeah. We try to stress that the Morning Wood Show has always kind of tried to, part of the reason why we do the contests is it's educational, like it's informative, it's educational. I always you can't enter the contest with any pick over a -150. And part of that is for the exact reason that I'm trying to teach them value in your bets. If you're going to bet a favorite, about -150 is as high as you should be going. And that's something I really have to like to get up that high on it.
And baseball too. I mean, when you talk about, I played baseball in college and coached baseball for a while. And we talk about baseball I have a show on ESPN New York on Friday nights and Saturday mornings on 98.7, and we talk a lot about baseball now. And it's tough. I mean, when you're taking these -150, -170 team, and you just baseball from night to night, you just don't know. These teams, someone can be off and they just, they get food poisoning last night, or they just didn't get enough sleep, or the fire alarms went off, or the other team just woke up and decided they wanted to hit the ball today. There's so much stuff that can happen. I think over the course of 162 games, I mean, even the best teams usually lose like 60 games, 70 games.
Yeah.
So, 92.
Look at the Dodgers last night. Dodgers got rocked by the D-backs last night.
Yeah, D-backs aren't any good, and you just don't know. I mean, just over the course of 162 games, it's going to happen. So I think a lot of times in soccer, it's not. Liverpool will have a bad game, or Manchester City will have a bad game, but they'll find a way to win, maybe 1-0 or something like this. But there's just not as many games. At most they play 50, 55 games if they're going deep in the Champions League, and they just don't play a lot, and they have so many squads full of players. These good teams have two squads of players, the rich teams, PSG and Benfica in Portugal and Porto in Portugal and some of these teams, and they play these teams and they just overwhelm them. Usually, every once in a while, you'll get the weird result, but usually it's going to be 3-0, 4-0, 2-0, pretty dominant wins. And you can, if you follow enough and you see those trends, it's you can figure out. Jared's saying Villarreal at fun plus 1050. I wouldn't even. I would take it. I would save your money and put it on Liverpool -1.5 or -2 and hope they win by 3.
I did bet on Liverpool -1.5.
Yeah, I think it's a good bet.
She told me to.
So many cappers give both teams a score instead of a side team total. I mean, I like team totals because you don't have to. Yesterday in that Champions League game, Real Madrid and Manchester City, I didn't really have a feel for the game. I thought it could go either way. I know Manchester City was like -225, and I didn't really love City in the game. And it was, if I would have bet City, I would have been real nervous in that game because, they were up 4-1, and then all of a sudden it was 4-3. But I just knew both teams were going to score because they're both attack and they play the same way. So, in that game, I would rather have bet both teams to score, which cashed at -110. Over 2.5 team totals. If today Liverpool team total, if I think they're going to score 3 goals, I'd rather bet them at 2.5 team total than maybe bet an over specific. Because if Liverpool, if Villarreal doesn't score, they don't even look like scoring. Sometimes it's tough. So I think a lot of times maybe handicappers will give that if they don't have a great feel who's for the team that's going to win the game. Foxy's saying, Bayern Munich had 45 shots on goal against Villarreal and only scored twice. It's just weird. Sometimes it happens. So it's pretty interesting though.
I get hooked on those both teams to score, but it's for a stupid reason. It's because you're out there for 90 minutes. I feel like at least each of you could get 1 goal in.
You see in the that Netherlands Eredivisie, I mean, both teams' scores -190 because I ran down it on one of my shows, and the 1 week it was 6-1, 7-2, 5-2, 3-1, 4-1, 1-0, 4-2. It was 8 out of the 10 matches, I think, were both teams to score, and 8 out of the 10 were overs. It was crazy. I mean, every week is like that. These games are just really crazy. But then you'll see when City or Liverpool plays, sometimes you'll see over 3.5. And then, in the Bundesliga games when Bayern Munich plays, it's over 3.5 all the time. I mean, Bundesliga, those teams score, they walk out onto the pitch and it's already 1-1. They give them both 1 goal. It's so crazy. I mean, sometimes you're watching it and it kicks off at 9:30 Eastern, and you'll check in at 9:50, and all 5 of the games have goals scored. And you're like, what the hell happened? It's crazy. Some of these leagues are just like that. They're really attack minded.
So trend wise, is it, in baseball, I follow a lot of trends. Is that something in soccer that you roll with?
Yeah, I mean, this game, I think the game I talked about for today, just you see these trends, and sometimes, it's I think it's the Serie A game that starts at 2:15. Maybe it was the Atalanta game or the Inter. No, I think it was the Inter game. Inter, these Inter, when Inter plays Bologna, the over 2.5 goals has hit 6 out of the last 7 times when they play. But when Bologna plays this year, the under is under 2.5 has been 7 out of 8. So you have to say look, Bologna doesn't score a lot of goals, but when they play Inter, there's a lot of goals. It just happens. And this is over 4 years of matches. So, sometimes over, in a little bit of a stretch, anything can happen. But when you start looking at 3-4 years of data, maybe you can get a trend out of it. And today Inter has to win. Obviously, they're 2 points back of AC Milan in the Serie A. So I love Inter in this game today. Atalanta, AJS, Atalanta, those games are always kind of both teams to score. They just like to attack and go back and forth. But I think the Inter game starts at 2:15 Eastern. So it's a game to look at. They have to win to go back to the top. So,
and that's in the Is that in the Bundesliga?
Serie A in Italy.
Is that how you say it? Serie A?
Yeah, I think so.
I say Serie A, but I mean,
I think it's the same, different. I sometimes I sound like European, so I know what I'm talking about.
That's next time you come on my show. Can you just pronounce things for me? I'm really big on pronouncing things properly. And
like France is Ligue 1. It's League 1, but like league because it's
yeah.
Ligue 1. Yeah, so like Liga Nos in Portugal because it's sponsored by Liga Nos.
You say Bundesliga, I say Bundesliga. I thought I was
Bundesliga. I have a weird accent because my dad was from West Virginia. I grew up in New Jersey. I lived in New York. I went to school and lived in New York, and I've been in like Manchester for like over a year. I go through so much, so like people think I'm from Canada, but I have this accent, so now I can kind of pick that stuff up. Now, I just got back from Madrid, so like I have to learn to like roll my R's, like it's like Cadiz instead of like Cadiz. So like I'm learning all this stuff, so it's interesting. So when I talk about it, people and when I write about it, it's funny because when I write for like NJ.com, I call it football. Because when I go over there, they always like bust on me. The first couple of times I went to Manchester back in like 2011 and 2012, they would say, "What are you over here to watch baseball?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm here for the football." They're like, "What do you mean the football? NFL?" I'm like, "No, man, football. I'm watching the Manchester United." And then they would all start buying me drinks. And now it's funny. So when I write, I say football and people will get mad. They're like, it's called soccer here. And I'm like, listen, when you get a column, you could call it what you want. I'm going to call it football. But it's like now I do it sometimes to now I do it sometimes just to rile people up. But,
yeah. Well, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's soccer here and football there. But it's like in The Departed when Leonardo DiCaprio would go to the different neighborhoods and use the different language and the different vocab. I'm pretty good at that at this point.
I bet. So on this Inter game, you're liking Inter over Bologna?
Yeah. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Bologna plays. Bologna's they're a decent team, but this Inter has to win this game today. See if I can get the odds here. Inter has to win the game. They're 2 points back. The title is really close. I think they're minus 220 on this game. I'll take a chance on them at see if I can pull the.
I've got them at 290, but minus 1.5 at minus 105.
Yeah, I'll take a chance at minus 1.5. I'm not laying 290, and it's minus one's not even, to be honest, not even really worth it. But minus one on the handicap is probably, it's probably the same as minus 105 anyway. So I'm going to take a chance and just think that they win this game. Some of these, it's crazy. I saw some of the like Liverpool to win today and 5+ goals. I saw a bet boost for plus 500. I just think, some of these, I think they think there's going to be some goals in this game. So, but yeah, I like Inter to win and Liverpool to win today. A parlay minus 290 and whatever Liverpool is minus 200. That's not bad. I think for Inter minus 1.5 and Liverpool minus 1.5 and take a chance at even money on both. You're going to make some decent money if they both win, by 2 goals.
Yeah. Now I'm all deep in the game. Now I'm in here. Now I'm looking around.
Yeah,
that's me in trouble, Sean Miller.
It's crazy because like yesterday there wasn't a lot of action. There was there were some different games. There's a lot of action at night, but today there's the Champions League game. There's the game in the championship. It's Middlesbrough and Cardiff City, but Middlesbrough's trying to get back into the playoffs, but it's not the greatest game. There's a couple of Serie A games, but it's a little bit slow now starting at this weekend because these teams have had to make up so many games. May is going to be a little bit crazy. There's going to be games all over the place. You're going to be able to see this game here and there's going to be some big games, Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, obviously the European leagues and stuff, but and then there's the games at night because the CONCACAF Champions League, the 2 American teams are playing. the two Mexican teams. So that's interesting. The Copa Libertadores, who's, goes on all the time. There's some value in those games, but, those games are a little tougher to read. We were talking about yesterday, some of the games that play in like Lima are at 10,000 feet elevation. So when the teams have to go to play some of these games, they get gassed. It's just, you can't breathe at that altitude. So you can kind of use that sometimes, but a lot of those games are like 1-0 games. The same with Mexico. It's tough to bet. I mean, you see the Mexican odds are like, minus 105 or plus 120. The games are really close. The teams are all basically the same, and it usually comes down to like one goal. So you're going to be sweating a lot, which I don't like to do.
Are you doing your show Monday through Friday or 7 days a week?
I'm going to do Monday through Friday. And then I think what we're going to do is, I'm going to talk. I think we're doing a Formula One show with Jim as well. Jim Williams is going to help me with that. We're going to be doing some Formula One, which is, obviously with the drive to survive or whatever that Netflix thing is kind of gotten big. And Formula One, I've been going to races in Montreal for a long time. So I love that. And maybe a horse racing,
me and Lenny get down on some horse racing.
Yeah,
we know nothing about it, but we know how to freaking lose money betting on horses. You bet.
I'm right around the corner from Parks, so Parks is about 3 minutes away from here. I can see it almost out my window. But but I'm gonna do Monday through Friday, and then I think as the season starts to when we start the next year, I'd like to do a Saturday show. I think sometimes you can do some of these my idea would be to have like a live betting show where you kind of come in and people ask like, listen, have at it. What games you want to look at? And then as the games come on at 10 o'clock, you say like, hey, listen, hammer this team or whatever it is. So I think we're going to do something like that. But right now it's Monday through Friday from 4 to 5. And today we'll be talking about a lot of different games.
I am so excited. I'm not the biggest American football fan. And I mean, we all know it's baseball season is what's going to be here all summer. So I'm excited to dive into this over the summer and really like kind of ground myself into some soccer. Because like I said, it's hard to pick up because there's so many leagues and it's kind of a different language. And I don't really have anyone to ask personally about it. But now I do.
Yeah,
Sean,
definitely. Yeah,
we're best friends now. All right. You're going to be so annoyed of me in by midsummer. You're going to be like, tell this little blonde girl to stop freaking asking me to come on her show. I do have a guy, Dre Richardson, is one of our morning Woodies. He does some of my Total Chaos shows. He's really into MLS, but he is very good at other soccers too. But if you ever want a guest on your show,
I'd love to have him on. I'm riding solo right now, so
I know. I text Craig. I was like, does he need a host for that show? Because I'll pop in there and host it.
I'm gonna have some. I have some journalist friends in England that are gonna stop in. This week I think is getting my feet under me, and then we're gonna have some Rick Fortenbaugh from the Trentonian. He's a big Arsenal fan, but he's started writing for some of these betting sites and doing some of these he didn't really know anything about betting about maybe like a year and a half ago, and now he's texting me all the time and he's like, look at this parlay I just did, and he does these live parlays where like a team's up 2-0, they're like minus 5,000, minus 1,000 thing, and it's like 6 teams, and it's like it ends up being like minus 110, and they always win, and I'm like, man, this is pretty interesting. I don't want to do it, but like he's got like, there's so many different ways. That's, I do tutoring, and like you have to teach kids. There's not always one way to do it. This guy's person's way might be good. And if I can take something from him, and if I could take something from you, and if I could take something from AJS and Tate the Great and Dre and whoever, I think everybody can be better at this betting and make some money.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point of the Morning Wood show is, you're into this, and I have a weird thing with Russian table tennis, Sean Miller. I'm really freaking good at Russian table tennis. I don't know what it is, but it's tools in your toolbox. I'll give you those picks, and then you give me soccer picks, and now we're both cashing on different things. And we've got we got guys in here that do darts, that do snooker.
Yeah, my guy next door is a pro darts. But during the pandemic, in the first
That's table tennis.
We had just signed the site I was writing for, just signed a deal, and they, they're like, you got to write something. So but the Belarus Premier League, I don't know if you remember, they signed all these deals, and they were like the only thing going, and they were playing all the time. It was Belarus, Taiwan, and Nicaragua. They were the 3 leagues that played through the pandemic, and then it was like table tennis and darts, played. So every day I'm like, and table tennis, I don't even know. I just took like 3 minus 300 favorites and hope they win, because half the matches were overnight and 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you wake up. The other thing NRL, the rugby from Australia, I think it's the same thing. You can win some money on that. I've been pretty fortunate to win some on that. But yeah, there's so much action out there, and it's, a lot of people maybe don't know about some of the leagues, and it's good to be able to kind of talk about it and be knowledgeable about it, because if you can win people money, I think they start to listen to you about other stuff.
Yeah, that's just it. It's a family affair, help me help you. Let's all help each other make some money and figure out this thing called sports betting. Yeah, we call it tools in our toolbox. It's kind of, it's one of those things. I learned this from you, and I learned this from you, and so on and so forth. So
that's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We got to start wrapping it up. But if you guys want more of Sean Miller, find him today, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's why you got to like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications to the Max Wagers Network. Don't forget the Max Wager Network. Subscribe to that. So 4 p.m. Eastern. He'll see you today. Thank you so much for coming on. I'd love to have you back in another week or so, and we'll just keep this rolling.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. I'll see you next week then.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yay. I'm so excited. All right. I've got something new to figure out. I've got something new to do with my time. I like it. So we are about to head on out of here. We got about 5 minutes left for anyone who is jumping in or who needs to leave a pick. If you don't leave your pick here, remember, put it over on the Facebook page. If you haven't already joined the Facebook page, it's right here. And I will actually drop that into the comments so you guys can just click on the link. Boom. Did a new Going Deep start tomorrow? Does a new Going Deep start tomorrow?
Every Thursday.
Okay. So tomorrow, I don't even really know what day it is. Ever since we moved the last Woody Standing to Monday, it F's my week up. Monday is Tuesday to me, and so on and so forth.
I have Cody Wickerman in here twice, but is there a reason he's in here twice?
I don't know. Robert Franklin was in there twice too, but.
Well, were they highlighted yellow?
No.
No.
I mean, I could accidentally. I could have. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, the ones highlighted in yellow are last week's Last Woody.
Yeah, I
which
understand
are David
how it works.
Percy and Julie Carley. So I guess those two are the only ones left in last week's Last Woody.
Okay. Yeah, Silky fell out. I know Silky fell out. And then Pedro Mas, I saw you ask me if you pushed. I have you out, but I could be wrong. So message me if I'm wrong.
Right, that's all I got.
I know. Okay, so I'm going on vacation. I'll see you guys on Monday. I wonder. Okay, I'll figure it out. I was thinking about. Never mind. It's a whole thing. Okay, so only 3 minutes to go. I know. I don't need to get going on that.
All righty then.
We don't need to jump off that banister. Okay, guys, so don't forget about Caesar Sportsbook, the promo. You can look in the description of this video, click on the link, and it's going to get you hooked up with the $1,100 in first bet insurance. If you're over at picksandparlays.net looking for premium plays, we do have a new promo code. It is NBA now. That's what you're going to use. If you can't remember, you should be out. I know. How do you guys not pace the floor over your last Woody Standing picks?
Yeah, I'm not lying. And then they're like, can you see? No, I can't. Nope.
You should know.
Nope.
Thank you, Foxy. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. I hope y'all like that. I definitely want to have him on more, especially after NBA and NHL finish out. Let's learn some soccer this summer. What do you guys say? I think it'll be fun. And we'll get Dre Richardson over on that show, too. Ooh, I had a talk with Craig about Dre, Lenny. Exciting stuff. You're such a brat. Go to sleep.
I can't listen. I'll support that, Sean. He's very articulate, very smart man, but I can't stand soccer. So I will support that show. I'll produce that show if they ask me to. I'll do whatever you need me to do for that show. But this is not my jam. You can't make me eat it.
Okay. Well, no one's asking you to.
You just told me let's learn some soccer, and I was like, no. And then I didn't say nothing. And
I wasn't actually talking to you. I was talking to the Woodies. I was saying, what do you say, guys? Let's learn some soccer. I actually was not talking to you one bit because I didn't think you would ever want to watch soccer ever. I would know that about you. With all the degenerate things you bet on, you would have already been betting on soccer if you were interested in it at all.
I will bet how many flops a grown man can take.
I love soccer.
How many flops?
Can we bet on that? Is that a thing? How many times?
Bet on that. How many flops?
Try how many times the super spray comes out? That's a good one.
I just don't. It's just not my jam.
I hear that. That's Foxy with baseball. We all have our preferences. Yeah.
Man.
It's just something new we can learn and make money on. So I'm with it. And I know a lot of the Woodies are with it too. I'm sorry, Lenny, that you're not with it.
No.
It's all right. To each their own. Okay, guys, y'all have a great, I feel like it's the weekend, like I'm signing off, but it's just my weekend. Signing off. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Good luck to everybody, unless you're against Lenny. Bye.